This is episode 93 of the Wilderness Locals podcast. On this episode, myself and Waste Dog, we just kind of catch up and do our normal weekly check-in here, where it feels good to be back, folks. This podcast is brought to you by Kifaru International. Kifaru makes absolutely bomb-proof gear that is second to none. Kifaru.net, folks. There are a few groups in North America that put boots to the ground, like the Wild Sheep Society of BC. Contrary to popular belief, Wild Sheep Society BC isn't just about sheep. The majority of their projects benefit a variety of ungulates and other wildlife. Check them out at www.wildsheepsociety.com. Great folks over there. I'm a Monarch member. You should be too. And as always, go check out our friends over at Just Shooting Arrows. Just Shooting Arrows is BC's premier archery shop. No? What are you talking about?
I sent it to you last night.
Oh, did you? I might have been asleep.
You're like, oh, that's me with the big chest rig.
Oh, yeah. Dude. I think that's our move going forward. Anytime we're on a hunt, I think we just need to even mid-stock, just stop, get the camera rolling in selfie mode and just start flexing a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a successful hunt to me, is always be in selfie mode flexing.
I think for sure if you're going to, if you're going to be hunting, you should also be flexing.
So?
Those guys were us though, bro. The one dude had nice clean chest rig, just binoculars. The other guy had freaking a Camp Chef oven on there, like a pizza oven or something.
I sent it to Cole. He's like, man, I wish I was that jacked.
Well, I mean, there's always the gym and steroids.
Mm-hmm. Got to get on the gear.
Get the sauce.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, it's been a minute.
Yeah. No, it's not only has it been a minute, it's also been my fault that it's been a minute.
No.
Yeah, it's been chaotic over here for a couple weeks. Yeah.
You bought a boat?
Dude, I bought a boat. We had COVID again. I bought a boat. We had that outdoors show this weekend. No, it's good, man.
I've been just bear baiting.
Yeah, freaking running a chainsaw and building bridges.
Oh my God. I lost about 20 pounds and it took me 3 days to get in there. I finally got in yesterday.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's what you need.
Hauled in about 500 pounds of feed.
That's sweet. I mean, does it get better?
Yeah, I'm having problems getting through this one creek.
Yeah.
And I got a rhino, Yamaha rhino.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just fucking chewing. And I got some good tires on it and I just can't get up over. It's just it's not a real big hill, but it's just sharp. It's just short and sharp and I can't seem to pull it. So
the belt's
kind of,
you're smoking the belt off of it or what?
Oh, I took about 10 years of life off that thing, man. Just fucking, that poor bitch. I just begged the piss out of it.
Oh yeah.
But you gotta, sometimes you can't fucking baby them. You gotta do that to get your shit in sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I've always thought those Honda units, what is it? I think the Rincon was the first one with
the Rincon was a quad, right?
Yeah, but it was the first one that had a automotive style tranny.
Yeah.
And I mean, all those Ranchers and what's the other one? The Foreman, all those with actual gear driven transmissions. They always just seemed so much better for the stuff we do, but they're kind of, I don't know, their new side by side and stuff. It kind of lacks the cool factor, eh?
Mm-hmm. I was I've had good luck with this rhino, man. I bought it brand new in 2011.
Oh yeah,
it's only left me in the bush like 2 or 3 times. So
that's pretty good.
I had a little trailer behind me, so I left all my everything on one side of the creek, and I would shuttle across because I'd have to winch the other side. So I did like full drama cable, like winch, like just fucking burn that winch out on every trip almost. So I finally got everything in. And like once I get through that creek, man, it's smooth sailing. It's just I can't get through that fucking creek.
What so what do you need? You're actually just going to keep building a bridge? Is that the plan?
Well, I have a bridge built in the bottom, but
nice.
I'm going to have to do some cording or something to get up that hill.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or like do it American style and just backpack bait in, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, I can't. Not the volume I put through. I can't.
Well, I was just gonna say, I see the amount of just raw material that you're taking in there. It's pretty wild.
Oh yeah, man. Thousands and thousands of pounds. Like a tote bag of grain is whatever, 1,200 pounds, and I don't know how many of them I'd go through in a season. Plus meat and grease and shit. Like it's thousands of pounds I feed.
Yeah, I can't remember who I was talking to about baiting, but they were, well, that seems like not as much fun, and I was like, I think it's a lot of fun.
Kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
And I mean, then they were saying to me, "Oh, it seems a little easy." I'm like, I don't think so. Just the sheer volume of bait to keep bears at one spot, so you can figure out who's who and what's what. It's pretty wild, man. Like, I don't know. I run an obnoxious amount of cameras, and it's not easy. Just running the cameras. And I mean, I'm not packing in thousands of pounds of food. I'm packing in a couple pounds of battery and like a 44-pound salt, like normally once a year. Right. And like, doing that 20 times sucks, but I can't imagine just packing in freaking barrels of food and freaking totes of grease. Like that's wild. That's a lot of work, man.
It's like, but the whole secret to it is you got to have a pretty good trail. I think if you're winching all the time, it makes life pretty hard. But,
oh yeah.
So I got to get this hill figured out. It's been whipping me.
Yeah, no, that sounds like it, but it's pretty cool. I mean, one of the things that you often hear when guys are talking about, guys that are not into baiting, they always say like, "Oh, it seems, it seems, easy," but I think they don't understand the amount of energy you spend getting set up, and then the second part of it, I don't think they understand is gives you the ability to really selectively harvest and look at those animals.
It's a management tool. Right? That's all it is. It's like I took actually the last 2 years off from baiting.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
I was getting really burnt out on it.
Yeah,
and I just wanted to get back in love with bear hunting again. So I spot and stalked the last 2 years, and I had fun, and I killed some bears. And but the problem I found with it, for the country I live in, is I don't have the time to judge them because like. They're on a cut line for 2 seconds and then they're gone. so you either take the shot but you don't know, right? You could be a big old sow, who knows, right? So that's the nice thing with bait, and you can just spend some time and really look them over.
Yeah. I mean, I think back about all the opportunities that I've had at bears, and it's like very seldomly in the country that I hunt, like, I kind of try to do my spring hunting places that I want to be putting in efforts in the fall, just to get a lay of the land a bit and get cameras in and get eyes on the critters I'm really interested in. So I'm kind of not like I'm not a dedicated bear hunter, but when the opportunity arises, I always check them out and I always glass for them. But I think, most opportunities I've had have been quick, pretty snappy.
Yeah, especially in the jungle, you really, it's hard to judge a bear on a snap decision. I don't care who you are, but I don't know. I'm enjoying this process right now. I'm getting bait in. It's kind of fun to do it with another guy or to something, but I don't really have any hunting partners out here, so just by myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to find a hunting partner, like
yeah.
I think it might be impossible to find like the perfect hunting partner, right?
How did the sheep show go, or the outdoor show?
Yeah, it was awesome. I worked at the Wild Sheep Society BC booth a bit. Help those boys out. They're a great crew over there. Great crew of guys. It was mostly Colin Peters and Greg Rensmeg were doing the show, and it's cool. It was the first one that I've actually worked at the booth, because I'm a bad person and I try not to actually leave my house for any reason. But no, it was cool. I mean, one of the things about actually working that show, like volunteering in the booth, is you'll be standing there and then, like a freaking crippled up old man will come. He goes, "Oh, I shot a sheep." And you're like, "Well, how have you shot a sheep? You can hardly get around." And then you start realizing they shot a sheep in the 60s or the 70s or the 50s or whatever, right? And they start telling you these stories of the old days. And I think, I would work one of those booths again just to go listen to the old guys.
I wanted to go to Alberta, had the Boat and Sportsman show, and I was gone working, but I'd like to go. I remember being a kid, man, like just a little kid, maybe 10, 11 years old. And I remember going with my dad and wandering around them sports show. That's where I got my first coyote call.
Oh, nice.
It was a night and hail cottontail distress.
That's sweet. Yeah, it's pretty cool to be just at any of those shows. I've never done sheep show in the US. But it's nice to be in a big setting of like-minded people and chatting about stuff and going and visiting with old friends and stuff like that. People you don't normally see, but you want to catch up with. It's good. It's real good.
Right on. That's cool.
Yeah. No, lots of good stuff going on there. It's good. I chatted with that. What's his name? I think his name's Travis from Wapiti River. They make those elk calls.
Wapiti. Sorry,
it's freaking 4 a.m. or something. But what an impressive call, eh?
Yeah, I have some. I've had some for quite a while, but I'm kind of just hung up on the reeds I like,
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like I normally use a Phelps Ant Black, and I said to him, like, right when we started talking to him, like, "Oh, I have a hard time switching calls. Like, I have a hard time running quite a few calls. Like, I can't run a Rocky Mountain call to save my life, And I think it comes down to mouth shape and your technique too, right? But I said to him, I was like, I use an Ant Black. Do you have anything that's similar? And he gave me a couple calls and he's like, "Try these." I was like, okay. I'm like, I've probably bought every call that there is to buy, And man, they rip. I'm super stoked. I grabbed a tube and a half dozen of those things, and they'll be going into the rotation for sure. Seems like a super nice dude too, eh?
Yeah, he sells some really good products. So like his bugle tubes are really nice. I actually use one of his bugle tubes, and he has really good wind check. Like, and his reeds are really good too. Like he does have good reeds, but like my favorite cow reed is Rockies. It's a mellow yellow. And then I also really like for cow calf talk is Primos. It's called a cash cow. It's a super expensive reed. I think it's like $30 some a reed.
Mm-hmm.
And I love those for cow talk. And then I just use Rocky's brown one. It's for Raging Bull, it's called. I use that for bugling. And I just kind of, like, I probably could get onto Wapadee's reeds if I spent some time with them, but I'd have to be invested in elk hunting a little bit.
Yeah, I hear you. It's hard to make a change. Like I can hop on a brand new like a brand new Ant Black, and I know how to play, right? Like I can just let it rip. And that's why I kind of just said to him, like, hey, this is what I'm using. It'd be cool to have something that plays similar, but I can maybe play a little bit more aggressive, because like a Ant Black is a very very like mellow call, you know. But yeah, no, I grabbed some of these. I think the one that I'm really digging is called Kryptonite. And then there's another one that's called like, oh, it's so hard with the names. I don't know. There's a white one and a black one that I really like. I think it's like one's like Lone Bull and one's like I don't know, the Reaper or something like that, you know.
I probably should support him because he is Alberta boy.
Yeah, he's Canadian. He's a super nice guy. So I think we're probably going to have him on the podcast, I think. Be cool.
Right on. Him and my cousin are pretty good buddies, I think.
Yeah, he knows Cole too, eh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Nobody knows me, man. I'm just a guy.
I like that.
But yeah,
I like
sweet.
that. You and Ronnie are the same that way, eh? Like way under the radar.
It's perfect.
I have me and Ronnie have a WhatsApp chat going, but that's where we send our photos back and forth so they come through the full size. And I have like quite the collection of Ronnie's in the field photos, and like, man, if that guy had an Instagram, he
shared. I like his style though. Like, don't share anything, you know.
Shares nothing. Nothing. Yeah. Like that's like when you followed him on Instagram the other day, I was like, oh, you're it's just photos of his kids, bro. He's like, oh, right on. You're like, right on. But I was like, it's just there. There's not any animal photos on there.
Yeah.
I told you his hockey bag trick, hey? When they it's so cool, eh? Like whenever they kill on fly-in hunts or hunts when they're using some mode of transport, whatever they kill, obviously it's not elk or moose, but like sheep and goats, they go into a black hockey bag, the horns, so nobody can see them.
Pretty good. Sad that somebody has to do that, but it's the way it is, I guess. Yeah,
for sure. But it's also, I mean, we've talked about it before on here. It's so personal, eh? Like how you kind of put yourself out there to the world with what you kill, you know?
Yeah. I think that's maybe why I still have a private page. I just don't really care much about it. But,
yeah.
Now, what else is going on? I was talking about going on.
We're at that show. Sorry, say again.
I said I was talking about maybe going on the Alone show.
Oh yeah, that was cool. What happened with that?
I didn't go through with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe next year.
It's cool that they thought of you.
The problem with it is like I could do good like hunting and snaring and trapping in any environment, but there has to be game. Like if you look at that last season with Clay Hayes,
yeah,
they couldn't kill the squirrels or the bears. The only thing they could hunt was the deer, which were few and far between. So to me, it turns into a starving competition.
Yeah,
and I can't do that. Like I can't. The one guy went like 94 days and he ate one fish.
Do you think the hot ticket there is showing up to that show like 485 pounds, just oozing over all of your clothes.
I don't know if that's the answer, but
just show up just with freaking like right on the brink of cardiac arrest, just freaking poor health, everything, and just go there and just be stationary. Hell, they'd be getting you out of the boat. Like, you're like, can you prop me up on this rock?
No, I don't know if that's the answer, but if they'd put me in a place where, you know, you can hunt hogs or moose or elk or anything. But when I watched last season, I was just like, fuck, I don't know if I could do that. Like, I can't go 90 days without eating. It's fucking it's a starving competition at that point.
But I think the idea is you probably wouldn't, right? You probably wouldn't go that long.
But it's from what he said in the message to me, he's like, you know, it sounds like the producers want more like huntery kind of guys. Mm-hmm. And they want to put guys in areas with higher game because I guess the ratings are better on the bow kill episodes. So
yeah, well, I don't doubt it.
I'm like,
all the hunters tune in, you know.
Yeah, and I think people just like seeing shit get killed or whatever. But so yeah, I don't know. I talked to my wife and she's like, "Go, give her," and But it's hard too because I got 4 kids, so it's like, hey, I'll see you guys in 4 months, maybe, right? So yeah, so we'll see. Maybe next year I'll throw my hat in the ring again.
Yeah, no, you could for sure. I mean, I think you would probably do fine. It's just, I think, like you're saying, you're right. You have to be in an area where there's game, and allegedly they apparently pre-scout the areas to make sure they actually hold enough food to sustain a guy. I imagine that guy that caught one fish in whatever freaking 3 months was probably not. He's probably not much of a killer.
As a trad guy, I look at the setups from last season.
Yeah, it's wild.
These people have never shot these bows. Like if they did, they practice. They don't have. Like maybe they shot them, but the bow was never their go-to ever. Like Clay Hayes is the only guy whose bow was a go-to, and fishing was secondary, right?
And I mean, Jordan did pretty well too with the bow.
Yeah. So like you can tell, like if you're shooting blazer veins off the shelf, you're probably not that committed to the.
Is that the one that I sent you the other day? Where maybe I sent it to Sky. I don't know. So Sky turned me on to that show after Jordan was on it. He was like, "Hey, dude, there's this show. It's called Alone. There's this bow hunter dude on it. He shot a moose. Wicked show." And so me and my wife watched it. Like, we don't really watch TV in our house, right? But we watched it, and I was like, "Oh, this is great. This is awesome, right?" And then I went and we watched some earlier seasons, and some of those people on there, are just like straight up like Instagram outdoor people where they're like, "I'm going to make a basket out of grass." And you're like, that's not going to help you live. Why are you making baskets out of grass? Like, hell are you doing? Like, build a shelter and kill some shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird. Like some of the folks on that show.
It's like real, I don't know, from what I've seen, it's like real, like bushcrafty people, but these.
Yeah. That's the term.
But they don't have they don't have that, like that killer instinct, it's, maybe they, I don't know. I don't really, that's the only season I've ever watched was last season because of Clay Hayes was on it. And I watched some of Jordan's moose just because I talked to Jordan quite a bit, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's like last season with Clay, like them guys couldn't kill any grizzlies. So to me, like if you can't kill and eat that bear, it's kind of pointless, right?
Yeah, he was in. Wasn't he in BC? He was on. Was it Chilco Lake? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool country back there. I mean, you definitely won't be able to kill Grizz in BC if you're doing that show, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they couldn't kill squirrels or fuck all either. So
yeah, that's a bummer. Yeah.
So what were you saying?
I mean, it would.
What were you saying?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
What were you saying about you when I cut you off?
No, I can't remember.
Something about that outdoor show.
I
don't remember.
Oh, on Saturday, I had my, actually no, on Friday, my folks dropped off my eldest daughter when she was done school. So she hung out with me for a while, and, she's just like freaking wild about fishing. Like all she wants to do right now is go fishing. That's like her thing. Like every booth that had anything to do with fishing, we had to stop and talk to the people. like my 5-year-old is grilling them about like, you know, what their products are and what they do and yada yada yada. I'm like, dude, you gotta chill a bit. And she's just like, every single boat. She wanted to get into every single boat. She's like, let's get this boat. I'm like, we're not buying a boat. She's like, let's get this boat. We're not buying a boat, dude. Like, chill. And on the way out, there was a car, like a car topper on a trailer sitting there. And she's like, that's a perfect boat, Dad. I'm like, that actually is a pretty cool little boat. So we go look at this thing, and I take a couple photos and I send it to my dad. And my dad's like, oh, that's a nice boat. I'm like, you want to call this guy for me so I don't have to call him in front of my 5-year-old? And they had just gotten to the show. So I was like, let's try to hook up with this guy on Sunday. So we meet this guy in like a freaking PetSmart parking lot on Sunday. And I bought this boat. So no, yeah, I think on Wednesday I'm going to pull her out of school, I think, and we're gonna go fishing for the day. So she's hyped.
I had the same boat as you before too, and I was telling you last night it caught fire.
Yeah, in the middle of that really provided me with a lot of confidence in my decision.
It caught fire in the middle of a thunderstorm in the middle of the lake.
That's awesome.
I loaded that motherfucker up, and she went to Kijiji. Goodbye.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I asked you, I'm like, how come it caught fire? Like, this is
so what happened?
Information to me now.
So I bought it was a nice motor, nice 4-stroke Honda, but the fuel tank, it has the rubber line that goes down with the filter inside the tank.
Yeah.
But that line was all so old and it was decaying and it was sitting in fuel for so long. And then it ended up sucking up little bits of old fuel line and plugged the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm there on the lake, just hammering lightning all around me. And I got the fucking cover off this cunt working on the car because she sucked up a bunch of shit trying to get her to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, I wonder if it's this plug fouled on me. So of course I just had the fuel lines off, right? So it's like that dish around the motor.
Oh yeah, it's full of gas.
It's full of gas. So I pulled the plug out and I just set it on the block. Just give it a tug.
Yeah.
And she fucking lit that cunt up. And
it definitely had spark though, so that's good. You know it wasn't the ignition at this point.
So then I grabbed the hood off the cover off the motor. I'm just drowning this cunt in water, and I finally get the fucking fire out, and I just paddle to shore. I'm like, fuck this boat.
Oh man,
I'm sticking the fucking bow hunting. Never went back.
That's funny. I love it. Yeah, no, I haven't really talked about my dad too much on this podcast, eh? But my old man, he's like me in a lot of ways, right? My dad's like, you know, when you were growing up and you had the buddy and they had like a super fun dad, and you're like, fuck, I wish that was my dad. That was my dad with all my buddies, right? My dad's like, that is my dad. My dad's still like that. Like all my buddies are still friends with my dad. Freaking, I mean, I think Chad talks to my dad quite a bit, you know? So anyway, everything my dad does is like really extreme. and like, you know, he can't like take any half steps. And like, I don't know, this is going back, I don't know, probably 10 years or something. Actually, no, not 10 years. Probably, I don't know, seven or eight, doesn't matter, 7 or 8 years anyways. And I say to my dad, oh, I'm just going to go buy a little car topper, you know, take me and my old lady first, want to go fishing and stuff in some of the local lakes. You know, we're normally fishing on the river from the shoreline or whatever, right? And it's, you know, a little boat is useful. And he's like, oh, you know, I think I'll do it with you. He goes, I'll find us a boat. So he calls me up one day and he's like, hey, I need this much money to get this boat. And I'm like, what is it? Like for my half, right? And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I got a boat lined up. And I'm thinking like, you know, he's got like a 14-foot car topper or like, I don't know, like whatever, right? So I come home that evening from work and in my driveway, there's like a freaking metal flake blue bass boat with like a 200 horsepower motor on the back of it. I'm like, dude, what the hell? He's like, so we're going fishing. I'm like, are we trying to win? Like, this thing's ridiculous. It's like super like shallow V on it. Like not really what you're after for, you know, like BC lake fishing. Right. Like it's pretty like, I didn't even know that there's bass boats like that up here. But like the boat was deadly, right? Like if it was calm water, super stable, awesome, freaking went 1,000 miles an hour, just ripped, right? Way too much boat. And we're like, I can't remember where we were. We were out on like one of the bigger lakes in BC, and like the wind came up and it's super choppy, and like my dad's driving the boat and he's just like, I'm like, we're gonna freaking sink this thing. Like I'm selling this like super shallow V. You know the type of boat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a bass boat.
Yeah, dude. But like, I mean, you get it on plane, I think just freaking boogies. So anyways, we sold that boat, and then I was looking at jet boats and stuff like that. And I had been for years now. And then I was like, I'm just going to go buy a car topper. And then kind of put it off when we had this last kid. And then we were at the show there with my daughter, and she's like, let's get a boat. She just pushed me. So yeah, we have a boat now. So that's cool.
Oh, sweet.
I'm pretty excited about it. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I used to do lots of fly fishing. I'd hike up these little creeks and stuff around home here and catch rainbows and graylings and stuff. That was my kind of fishing. Actually, my buddy Mitch, he's got a nice river boat.
Oh, deadly.
And we're going to go up a river. I don't want to say the river name, I don't think, but we're going to go up this river.
We'll post the GPS coordinates in the show notes.
Yeah. I want to go up this river. There's bull trout in it.
Oh, cool.
And rainbows and whitefish and all sorts of shit. We're going to go up and spend overnight trip on the river and fly fish for some big bulls.
I love it.
I'm gonna use a 5 weight, and he's like, I don't know, because you can't really cast them big streamers on a 5 weight. But
yeah, I got into fly fishing for a few years there. Like, actually, before I lived where I live now, basically I was coming here all the time to go fishing. Right now, like the route that I run, I basically run one of the best like kind of rivers around for fishing. And it's like every time I'm on a run and it's a nice day, it's like I run past 1,000 dudes out there fishing. I'm like, man, I should probably be fishing.
I fly fished off in BC rivers a few times. I went up. I think it was flows into the Shuswap. I think it's like Eagle River, maybe, or something.
Oh yeah,
I caught some trout in there, and then I fished around Shuswap quite a bit. My in-laws got a cabin there, so we go there in the summer and hang out.
I posted that photo last night or yesterday of me and Cole out in Bighorn country there, and I was catching up with Cole. He just got over COVID too again. I was like, oh yeah, I bought this little boat. He's like, oh dude, that's wicked. He's like, but he's like, don't turn into some kind of fly fishing douche. And I was like, what? He's like, that's a super like traditional archery thing to do, eh? I was like, man, you're so right. Like, it's like super elitist.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't done it in quite a few years now, but I used to enjoy getting out. Just more like hiking creeks and shit instead of just like being like just sitting in a boat jigging, you know. It's kind of fun to get out. And then just working them holes and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah. Down where I live, there's not really that much small water.
You know what I was catching in BC? A few was Dolly Vardens.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
But like it sounds like from what I talked to guys in BC, nobody likes them.
I don't know.
Them dollies.
They're pretty cool to catch.
Did I ever tell you that time that me and my brother-in-law we took fucking sea-doos up the fucking river?
Yeah, and you guys almost died.
Well, I didn't, but the other guys did. That was off the end of the
Shuswap.
Yeah, I can't remember that river name, but we go up there. For whatever reason, I'm following them. I shouldn't even have followed them. I should have just turned around. But the river was flowing good. It was deep. But the thing with them sea-doos is I got that jet underneath. The fucking things will suck a rock and jam real easy, right?
Yeah, they don't know that great, right?
And I know that. So I'm like not really hard on the throttle. I'm kind of just idling whatever it takes to get up this river. And we get up there like half a mile, man. And we're in like some real current, shallow stuff, but real high speed. And there's a guy, he's fucking upside down, I think, on his jet ski. There's another guy, he's got his beached. So we get this other guy's jet ski unfucked and he gets on it and the water is like really fast and really deep and there's log jams and shit. And he hits a fucking log jam and that sea-doo just goes upside down and sucks him under. Oof. I'm like, well, he's dead.
Okay, I'm out.
But what do you do, right? Like, so he pops up the other side, fucking handlebars and everything are broke off this thing. I said, looked at my brother, we got to get the fuck out of here. So we kind of got him hooked up again and told them guys out of there. But it was almost a fucking wreck.
Yeah, that honestly doesn't sound that fun.
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to take fucking sea-doos up rivers. That's stupid shit.
I kind of said to my dad with this little car topper I bought, I was like, let's just see how the family does here. Like before, because I was about to pull the trigger on like one of them, one of those freaking like, I don't know. They're a lot of money, but those big jet boats, right? I was like, let's just do it. Let's just get one of these things. And I was explaining about my dad. He was like, okay, like, let's go.
If there's a little lake near you, your kids will have fun on that with that little boat.
I live on there's probably 5 or 6 lakes minutes away in all directions, right?
What's in it? Like, what's in it? Just trout and shit?
Yeah, I mean, like Chilliwack Lake. I mean, Chilliwack Lake holds everything basically: rainbow trout, bull trout, Dolly Varden, kokanee, kinds of shit. Yeah, no, it's a cool lake. I grew up fishing on Chilliwack Lake too. I'm a complete crap fisherman, but yeah, no, it'll be good. Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be really good. And I mean, the other part of it too about having a little boat is it opens you up to accessing some hunting country that you could not normally access, right? Which is I need
a big riverboat is what I need.
No, I know. Yeah, I need a big riverboat too for hunting up north. But yeah, no, it's cool, man. We've been chipping away at our northern BC hunt plans. We're just waiting for regulations to come out, eh?
Yeah, regs, and then we got a plan. We pretty much know what's I think is going to happen with caribou, so I think we're going to go ahead with the plan, which is going to be sheep and goat and maybe elk.
Yeah.
But
I know guys are going to ask after this goes up, since we're talking about regulations, when they're going to come up. Buddy of mine sent me this the other day. It's a response from the Wildlife and Habitat branch. And it says, the LEH draw won't be open for application for a little while yet. We should, and this was on Friday. We should be publishing the new 2022 to 2023 LEH synopsis online by approximately the end of April 2022. You should then be able to apply approximately by the end of April, with a deadline date for applications likely the last Thursday of May. So they're only giving us a month to do our LEH this year, which, I mean, I kind of like that, a snappy turnaround. And then the next email from the same data and licensing coordinator regarding the 7A in Region 6 in relationship to the 7B thing. The response was, no decisions have been made yet. The proposed regulation changes only mention the peace and moose/caribou, so I haven't heard anything else specific about the two regions you mentioned. So there's that. So it sounds like the synopsises will be out by the end of April here. We're April 11th today, and it sounds like they'll be out by the end of the month here, and it sounds like LEH will be wrapped up by the end of May. So we should have hunting regulations out here pretty quick.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think you and I are working on a jet boat to get up the nameless river of nameless streams. And instead of flying, maybe, but either way, it'll be cool.
Yeah, it'll be good. Whatever, we'll get in there and it'll be fun trip. I'm kind of bummed about the caribou thing. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, dude, I think everybody's bummed about the caribou thing.
That's a heartbreaker for me.
Should I mention the rumor that's circulating about the grizzly thing?
You can. Does anybody else know about it, or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's come up in some. So last year it came up in some closed door meetings. That if people willingly give me information they shouldn't. I'm not sure why. I feel like I'm the wrong guy to tell stuff to, because I have a podcast.
Yeah.
But so this came up in meetings with different organizations and different government branch meetings and stuff like that last year. And then with all of the regulation changes that are coming this year, I think it was a hard push, but it sounds like there's going to be some grizzly hunting opened back up in northern BC. And I think the caveat to it is that you're going to have to use a First Nations guide if you want to cut that tag. I don't know if it'll be LEH. I don't know how it's going to work or anything like that. And again, these are rumors, so it might not happen. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of clearly see what they're doing. I think they're taking everything and then just giving it to the natives, and the natives will control all the tags.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's kind of detrimental in my mind. Like, it's good for the natives or whatever, but in my mind, it's like that money, that tag money, man, that goes to conservation. That goes to fish and wildlife.
Well, so there's a little bit of a caveat to that here in BC, because it's like a small percentage of that money actually goes to wildlife in BC. We have a pretty messed up system.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like, hang on. While we're talking here, I'll try to do this in the background, but I can pull it up. But yeah, it's a small percentage. And a lot of guys I talk to are like, like inside my own circles are like, maybe it's a good thing. I'm not necessarily, I don't necessarily have the utmost faith in the provincial government, obviously, as we've seen in the last couple months here, right? but it's maybe if we give it to not we give it to, but maybe if they decide, if you're doing this hunt, you do it through a First Nations guide, maybe the money actually ends back on the land. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the money reroutes. I mean, I think the money will go to the band. I don't know if it'll end back up in the hands of because money, how I picture money movement through tag sales in my mind is it goes here, and then if they need to, Fish and Wildlife got to rent a helicopter to do a sheep survey or whatever. In my mind, I feel like that's where tag money goes. Maybe it doesn't, but I feel like if the money just goes to the band, well, they don't have a budget for anything extra, for Fish and Wildlife services. I don't know, man. BC is just going down this weird route. I don't know.
Yeah, so I can't find the actual breakdown of where the money goes for BC hunting anymore. But there's a surcharge for the Habitat Conservation Trust Foundation, which is money that goes directly to conservation. And you're going to laugh at this. Okay. You ready? The surcharge for a BC resident hunting license. So a resident hunting license in BC is $25. The surcharge is $7. If you're 65 or older, the license is $6 and there's a $1 fee for the conservation.
Yeah, but if you look at me, man, what I paid $400 for a mountain goat tag. Yep.
But hang on, that's the thing though, is that $400 doesn't go to conservation. It goes to, I don't know, John Horgan going on vacation or something. But no, it's a very small percentage. If I check out on a deer tag here, a mule deer tag is $15. The conservation surcharge is only $3. And there's tax on it.
Can you pull up the what the non-resident tags are? Cost?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've quoted that mountain goat wrong. I think it was $350 or something.
Yeah, I think.
And then I have to pay a trophy fee on top of that.
If you kill,
So that's a fair chunk of change that's going to the government, and I feel like they're kind of throwing away a lot of money. But I guess BC has lots of resource extraction, so they should be able to. I don't know if I can find it that fast. It's all of the non-resident stuff is just freaking buried on their website. I'd have to spend a bunch of time trying to find it right now. Yeah, dude. I don't know. It'll be wild anyways. We'll see what happens. And I'll see if I can dig it up for the next episode here about where the money goes, how it's broken down, right? If we look at a $15 tag, how much of that money actually makes it back to conservation. I think you're going to be shocked because I remember when I heard it, I think my jaw hit the floor. So very little, which is bullshit.
Very little.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I don't know. I don't know if I could live in BC, dude. This shit would drive me nuts.
It's a great place to live. It's a terrible place to follow politics in. And, we have lots of hunting and lots of opportunity and lots of beautiful country. But people running it have their head planted deeply inside their own asses.
Do you know what I think would, if I was leader of the world, what I would do? If you haven't owned a hunting license for the last 5 years, you do not get a vote on what happens with wildlife. That's what I would fucking do. So if you're in downtown Vancouver holding candlelight vigilance for coyotes, you don't get a fucking vote on what I do with fucking caribou. That's what I would do. And because all of it is fucking bullshit. It's all based off emotion. And
I agree. I think that would work great. How do we make Waste Dog 2023 Supreme Ruler of the Universe t-shirts or something.
Man. We'd have to murk somebody to get in that position. But
coming for you, Hillary.
I got my Wengard came. We haven't talked about that.
Yeah. Why don't we save that for an episode with Trent?
Yeah, we can.
We should. I think we should.
Lots of hype on those limbs though, man. They're pretty sweet.
They look beautiful.
Yep. I don't think I was supposed to let out the cat out of the bag on those limbs.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, but you did. Whoops. Shoot. Okay, well, let's pull the plug on this one then, and let's we'll try to get Trent on later this week.
Yeah, I told him. Well, he will wait, I think, because he sent some of them limbs to Trad Lab. So once he gets the results on a side-by-side comparison with his Ibex limbs, I think he wants to. Okay. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Pin it.
Let's let it rip.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at Wilderness Locals. If you want to support the podcast, please check out the gear, articles, and whatever else we're up to on the website at www.wildernesslocals.net.